Okay. Feminist theory of state. What is feminism? Feminism is basically the idea which says that there should be equality between sexes. Feminism is an idea which in essence is criticism of patriarchy, and above all feminism is a meta ideology. What is meta ideology? Right? What is meta ideology? There is debate within feminism. There is debate within feminism for its central tenets. Right? So, by this logic, we can extrapolate this that feminism is a meta ideology. Then there should be debate within feminist theory of state as well. Feminist theory of state will also be a meta debate. It will also be a meta debate. This debate starts with the question of of even 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 if the theory of state is required or not, right? Feminist theory starts with the question that if feminist theory is required or not, and this debate is in and out debate, right? To start in and out debate, you can always mention this quote by Virginia Woolf: "As a woman, I have no country. As a woman, I want no country." Right? What does this mean? There is this skepticism with respect to feminism, with respect to state in feminist scholars. Right? There is this one strand of in. Some scholars say that in. We should be in with respect to state. Right? These are integrationist. Who are integrationist? Are liberal feminists are integrationist. Right? In and out debate we are studying, of which we are trying to understand in faction, which says we should be integrated with state, and liberal feminists are integrationist. What does in debate or in faction say? That state can be reformed, and and therefore we should theorize it. Right? In debate is integrationist debate, which says that state can be reformed, and therefore we should theorize it. Right? Out faction is also there. What out faction says that we should be autonomous of state. In debate says that state can be reformed, and therefore we should theorize state. Out debate says that we should be autonomous state. We should be autonomous of state. In this, we see radical feminist, Marxist feminist, and socialist feminist. Right? And out debate faction says that state is instrument of oppression. And out debate says that state is male, state is patriarchal. So out debate people will say that no need to engage with state, no need to engage with state, and we should do civil society activism, we should do politics of protest, we should do protest, right? This situation, this situation, this situation whereby this situation whereby people were not people were not really sure about if we should theorize state or we should not theorize state. Catharine MacKinnon says, Catharine says, MacKinnon says that the feminist theory of state is sorely needed. We are in dire need, we are in absolute need of feminist theory of state. And who theorized feminist theory first? It was, of course, liberal feminist, and we are going to understand liberal feminist theory of state. Liberal feminist theory of state. Two scholars we are going to study: Betty Friedan and Samuel Moller Okin. Betty Friedan wrote her book Feminine Mystique, and Samuel S.M. Okin talks. So S.M. Okin has her book Gender, Justice, and the Family. These people say that liberal feminists say that state is neutral institution. State is neutral institution. Then they will say that if state is neutral institution, we should capture state. We should capture state. And after capturing state, we should make women friendly laws. We should make women friendly laws to to explain this. To explain this, Samuel, sorry, not Samuel. S.M. Okin says that. S.M. Okin says that. Susan Muller Okin says that there is a need to include women in theory of justice. By theory of justice, you can also mean state, right? There is need to include women in theory of justice. Understood? Liberal feminists basically say that state is neutral institution and we should capture state. We should capture state, right? After liberals, who will talk about state? Who will talk about state? Of course, there will be Marxist. So now we are going to understand Marxist feminist theory of state. Marxist feminist theory of state. We have actually learned Marxist feminism. We have learned Marxist feminism and Frederick Engel's book on origins of family, private property, and state. Right? On origins of family, private property, and state. Right? Frederick Engel will say that state is capitalist. State is capitalist. Frederick Engel will say that state is capitalist, and capitalist state sees women as reserve labor force. Capitalist state see women as reserve labor force, and and Marxist will see women women as member of worker class. And what theory of state they will give is that there is no need of state. Bring revolution, remove state for emancipation of women as well, right? They don't see women as gender, they see women belonging to worker class. Remove remove worker class, not remove worker class, remove state, bring state-led society, bring communism for emancipation of women as well, right? Then we are going to understand socialist feminist theory of state, right? Socialist feminist theory of state, it was written by this scholar known as Zilla Einstein, right? And she gives this concept of capitalist patriarchy, and she says that state is both patriarchal and capitalist, right? State is both patriarchal and capitalist. State is both patriarchal and capitalist. So she says that capitalist class structure and patriarchy both are bad for women, and that is it. She only says that state is both patriarchal and capitalist, and patriarchy and capitalism influence each other, reinforce each other, and reduce status of women. Right? The next strand of feminist theory of state is radical feminist theory of state. We see people like Kate Millett, Catharine MacKinnon, right? They talked about radical feminist theory of state. Kate Millett in Sexual Politics, and Catharine MacKinnon in Towards a Feminist Theory of State. Right? Radical feminists take critical view of state. Radical feminists take critical view of state. They say that state is patriarchal. They say that state is patriarchal. And they say that State is patriarchal. Oppression, oppression on women. It is organized. Oppression on women is interconnected, and oppression on women is not haphazard. It is not haphazard, but it is organized. Oppression of women is sustained by state. Why it is sustained by state? Because state itself is patriarchal. State itself is patriarchal. Because state is patriarchal, because state is oppressive, they give an extra statist solution. Extra statist solution. By extra statist solution, what I mean, they say that we should not co-opt with state, right? We should not go to states for our problems of our solution, but we should go for civil society activism. We should go for protests. We should go for protests. So this was radical feminist view as given by Kate Millett and Catharine MacKinnon. Then 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 there is woman friendly welfare states. Scholar of women friendly welfare state is Helga Maria Harness, and she says that women today of Nordic countries, of Australian countries have become political actors. Women are not just victims, and she says that women should get women should get to women should get to politics. Women should get to state, and she gives example. She analyzes Nordic feminists and Australian democrats, right? And the last theory from feminist theory of state is post-structuralist feminist theory of state. There are two schools within post-structuralist feminist theory of state. What is post-structuralism? Right? What is post-structuralism? You go back to Lassalle, Ferdinand Lassalle, and his Saucer, not Lassalle, Saucer. Saucer's concept of structuralism and Derrida, right? You go back to those people, Derrida, Lassalle, Saucer, Derrida, language, structuralism in language, right? That is structuralism they are talking about. Post-structural, post-structuralist feminist school, right? And the first school is rejection of state. Reject state, as given by Alan Amy. Alan Amy in her book The Power of Feminist Theory. Rejection of state is the first idea within structuralist school, within post-structuralist school, and they say that, and the first scholar, and the first school is of rejection of state, and the scholar Alan Amy says that in her book, The Power of Feminist Theory, she says that don't don't theorize state, right? State is too abstract to be theorized. It is too abstract, right? It is too abstract to be theorized, and state is too abstract to give solution for feminist problems. Why we should reject state? Because state is too abstract to give solution for feminist problems, right? And the second school is discursive state. The idea of discursive state as given by Davina Cooper. Davina Cooper in her in her concept of discursive state says that by discursive state what she means is this thing. She means that there is difference among states, right? Discursive state means this thing, there is difference among states lack coherence, right? State is not an homogeneous entity, right? State is not homogeneous entity, right? State is not homogeneous entity. State lack coherence, and state is a set of differences, set of institutions and agenda and discourses. When state is set of differences, institution, agenda and discourses, state is not inherently patriarchal. State is not inherently patriarchal, but state becomes patriarchal due to political processes. If state is not inherently patriarchal, then Davina Cooper says that we should co-opt state and we should try to get into state to to contest patriarchy within state. So this was this was the idea of feminist theory of state. We have finished feminist theory of state, right? We have finished feminist theory of state. This was feminist theory of state. I hope you understood. And this was theory of state. From the next lecture, we'll start with theory of justice. Thank you so much. Bye bye.